guys, this is Donata from Donata Skinfood, and I am the founder and CEO of course, Donata Skinfood. So I wanted to tell you guys a little backstory about my hair journey and where I am right now. So in 2016, you guys know I started my brand in 2014, and along the course of my brand, God speaks to me about different things that I need to do for my business. So in 2016, we came from Donata Natural Products to Donata Skin Food. And along that year, God spoke to me to let go of my well, it's natural hair, but it was colored. I was rocking a red afro at that time. And God really impressed in my heart that I needed to embrace my brand fully, that my hair and my skin is my brand, and I needed to embrace that. And embracing that, He wanted me to chop off my hair. And I was trying to figure out, do I chop it off? Do I put braid? Do I transition from the red afro to gray hair? Just went 3 weeks, 3 weeks of straight depression, legit depressed. I have a picture. I'm going to put the picture on there. I think it was the day before I chopped it off. Just really sad because I didn't want to let go of my hair. But God really wanted me to embrace my grays so that I can really represent my brand 100%. And I had to deal with Him. I was like, okay, God, you want me to embrace my grays? I was only 42 at that time. I was like, God, if you really want me to embrace my grays, you got to make sure I legit rock it. Like, I got to rock my grays. I really wanted it to be like a speaking piece for me. So I chopped off all the hair the first time and I let my hair grow. And sure enough, I always got compliments for my hair, and I was always inspiring other women to embrace their grays. A lot of women went gray because of me having the courage to do mine at such a young age. Now, this year in March for my birthday, I was talking to God about, okay, what is the word of the year for me? And for the month of March, all I kept hearing, especially at that time I was praying about it, I was at a conference, and the whole conference, people kept talking about being obedient. And just even when I was at lunch with different people, they were talking about their obedience in moving and how God has blessed them for being obedient, whatever it is. So I took away from that the word for my birthday year is obedience. So in doing that, I started fasting and praying, connecting close, just getting closer to God, connecting with Tiffany Montgomery Ministry and watching her videos, doing the prayer and fasting, and just building my prayer life. Because yes, I pray, but I didn't have a deep prayer life. And then in the last, from March to now, He's literally been stripping me of things that I really, 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 really like. So He started with the anklets. And to me, I'm sharing this story not because it's something you need to do. This is my journey. At the end of the day, it's the word obedience that you need to take away from it. Because my journey, you could rock your anklets all day, but for me, He needed to strip me from it because of how much I really, really like those. So everybody's journey is always different. So don't go away with this like, oh, I need to strip myself of A, B, C, and D because that's what Donata did. No, your journey is different. So just listen to what it is you need to be obedient about and move accordingly. So He told me to cut off my anklets, and I think it took a whole 2 weeks for that to happen because I kept going back and forth. Or what's wrong with it? I love my jewelry and my ankles and my toes. Like, I love feet and leg jewelry. I finally cut it off. It was really hard. And then I felt a little sense of freedom. And I think it was a week later, not even 2 weeks later, He was like, okay, now take off the waist beads. And I'm like, like, the waist beads, like, I really like the waist beads because I felt the waist beads really helped monitor my eating. I knew what days I was bloated. It helped me figure out, okay, what did I eat the day before to make me so bloated? Or when I woke up and they were hanging, I knew I did a good day the day before with eating. I think it took about a week and a half. I cut off the waist beads. A few weeks after that, my nose piercing I did a year ago, December of the year before. Mind you, the whole year after my nose piercing, I kept getting reinfections. My nose will be fine, then it'll get reinfected, it'll get fine. Finally, my nose piercing got to a point where it was completely healed. And I want to say 2 weeks later, God was like, okay, take this off too. And I'm like, man, really? Like, I just struggled a whole year of not walking around with what looks like a big pimple in my nose. It's finally healed, and you're asking me to take it off. With the nose piercing, I was a little fast about being obedient. Now, I'm praying one day. It was probably one of my fasting periods, and I hear you need to cut off the locks. And I'm like, okay, that's the devil talking. That is definitely not God. So I kept praying, what have you. Next time I'm praying, I hear you need to cut off your locks. Kept ignoring, kept ignoring, kept ignoring. Now, I want to say after 2-3 times of ignoring, I legit started having issues with my scalp where it started itching. And mind you, even my hairdresser will tell you, my scalp is really, really nice. Like, I never have issues with dryness, dandruff, or anything like that. I keep my hair very low maintenance. I have zero issues with my scalp. I barely even scratch my scalp. So the first time my hair is itching while I'm praying, I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's all in my head. And that kept happening for like 2 months, to the point where I went to church one time and the pastor prayed for me. And even when he laid hands to pray on my head, I felt so uncomfortable because I knew what God wanted me to do and I had not done it. And it was almost like whatever he's praying on, there's going to be a block because the locks were still there. Still kept ignoring the message. And then finally, the last thing that really made me say, okay, enough is enough. God literally was like, okay, at this point, you're going to block your blessing because you really don't want to listen. So on June 1st, I chopped off my hair. And as you guys can see, I chopped it all off. I got tired of trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. If I was going to, even with that, I was like, am I going to untwist or take down the locks and get my hair back to the beautiful, long, luscious grays they were? Or if I was going to chop it all off or chop half off. Like, even in that decision, it took a minute to figure out how I'm going to do it. And at the end of the day, it was like, just chop it off. Your hair grows fast. And again, you don't know why you're having to do this, but be obedient, because in the end, it'll reveal itself of why he wanted you to do this. So I wanted to definitely share my story behind my hair journey because it just hit me recently. Like, he really speaks to me through my hair. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I don't know who's watching and who needs to be obedient, or if there's something in your life you need to work on a change, or even if it's maybe a hair journey that you're going through and you're struggling with. Hopefully, sharing my story will be inspirational to you. If you're new to our channel, be sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. The handle is at Donatasco, DONATASCO. And drop a comment below if this message resonated with you and how it resonated with you. I would love to see how God is working through this journey.